Every minute, thousands of hours of video are uploaded to the internet. We live in an ecosystem overflowing with data, where platforms constantly wage war for fractions of a second of human attention. For decades, the work of filtering and shaping the public narrative was a privilege held exclusively by massive institutions. Governments and corporate media organizations determined which stories were told and how they were framed. In India, a nation of over 1 billion citizens participating in the world's largest democratic system, this dynamic has reached a critical bottleneck. The sheer volume of competing news often creates confusion, leaving citizens searching for an objective way to synthesize the facts. The most widely followed analytical voice in this landscape did not emerge from a television studio or a political office. This platform was built entirely outside of legacy media structures. The center of gravity for public information has shifted. Authority is migrating away from established broadcasting networks and into the domain of independent digital creators. Before reaching 30 million subscribers, Dhruv Rathee was an engineering student living in Germany. His early uploads were not designed for mass appeal. They were a byproduct of his own efforts to understand global events, using the camera as a tool to document his research and process complex ideas. He approached these topics through the framework of his technical training. He broke down convoluted political and social issues into their component parts, analyzing the underlying systems with the same logic he applied to his coursework. At the time, digital platforms prioritized rapid-fire entertainment and reaction videos designed to trigger the recommendation algorithms. This methodology reached an audience that traditional media had largely overlooked: millions of viewers who were specifically searching for long-form, methodical explanations of the world. Building these deep dives requires a specific methodology. Rathee and his team sift through competing reports, identifying the core data points within chaotic events and organizing them into a logical sequence. This structure allowed him to tackle heavy historical narratives, such as his detailed breakdowns of the root causes of the Second World War. He demonstrated how the propaganda techniques and mass psychology used in those eras are mirrored in modern communication. The scope of his videos expanded to include environmental disasters, scientific breakthroughs, and geographical mysteries, creating a vast library of foundational knowledge. Consistently applying this research-heavy approach to science and history built an audience familiar with his logic. When he eventually turned to more polarized political subjects, he applied the same transparent process, maintaining the trust he had already cultivated through objective reporting. Eventually, the focus of his analytical framework changed. He began applying his structured methodology to the immediate and often turbulent events of contemporary Indian politics. This chart shows the escalation in his viewership. As the channel shifted toward urgent breakdowns of national events and government policies, the subscriber base scaled rapidly. Reaching tens of millions of viewers meant his analysis outgrew the niche role of digital creator. He was now a primary influencer of public opinion, drawing direct responses from established political organizations. This visibility triggered intense scrutiny. Critics questioned his objectivity, alleging foreign influence due to living abroad, claiming his videos were designed for political manipulation. Independent commentary at this scale functions as a primary force in the national discourse. The videos become the central point of debate, where the interpretation of national truth is actively contested. To consolidate this influence, he expanded his platform beyond YouTube, launching specialized educational academies for productivity and AI, alongside a deep dive podcast. His objective shifted toward teaching the methodology of critical thinking. The goal was to provide a generation with the tools to evaluate sources and spot logical fallacies independently. Maintaining this output requires resilience. He continues to research and record through an environment of coordinated digital hostility and personal attacks aimed at his credibility. His continued growth suggests that a multi-million-person audience will engage with unsimplified, long-form information if the research is presented clearly and methodically. He transformed from a solitary student in an overseas apartment into a media force that rivals the reach of state-backed television networks. While trust in legacy institutions has steadily declined according to traditional surveys, independent digital creators are building direct, personal connections with their viewers. This shift raises a question for the future of global journalism. As traditional newsrooms lose their influence, the responsibility for holding power accountable is falling to new, decentralized platforms. In the modern information war, The most powerful institution is the individual with the courage to press record.